separate people,
No,
ladies
you go
first.
first, ladies first.
I'm just wondering, is it just the selling of it or repairing of cars or?
No repairs. We're gonna get the
I'm
repairs.
concerned of the varying of the zoning of, I moved to Hamlin to have the large parcels and the single dwelling houses. And I don't really feel comfortable with having a commercial, business come into the neighborhood.
Okay, can I have your name and
Carol.
your address?
Sure, Carol Zimmer Bocage, 114 North Hamlin Road.
Sure. All right. You're
Tom
up.
Steigerwald, 2344 Roosevelt Highway. My question is, does Mr. Kubiati have a New York State dealer's license?
I do.
You do?
I do.
You don't? Okay. You're aware that it's against the law to do what he wants to do?
What's that?
Some cars.
Why is it against the law? I want to have a dealer, I have to get this in order to apply for a dealer's license.
Okay,
I can't apply for it without it.
okay, okay.
Very good. You any relations to somebody else that we know?
Never heard of her.
Okay. Is there any other solicitations or anything from the audience we need to hear? If not, Judy,
I have no comments.
JP,
I don't really have any engineering concerns. I think you just should be aware of stipulations that you put on regarding inside storage only, no repairs, no, there's no site changes proposed, there's no demands on significant implications to traffic or water supply, there's no usual engineering issues.
okay. So you were aware of those issues, we went over them when you first showed up there?
Yep.
About dealing with the inside storage and.
Yeah, I don't, I have kids in the house, I don't want to draw any strangers or traffic into my house, my property there, I want to just do appointment only, most likely it'll be on weekends or after work. But I'm not planning on putting any signs and we don't really can't put, if you look at pictures of the,
Steve,
From a zoning point of view, in the RDL, you have to find that the use of the accessory building is similar in nature and compatible with the RDL zoning. I sent you a letter dated May 29th, which lists the approved uses in the RDL district. These include single-family detached dwelling, public parks, playgrounds, farms, greenhouses, churches, public schools, municipally owned buildings, private clubs, licensed hospitals, restaurants, cemeteries, public utility buildings, golf courses, airports, gun clubs, commercial greenhouses. So I guess the question is, do you believe this is reflective of those types of permitted uses? Nothing further.
sure.
I have it in.
Did I see a document someplace from you? Sure.
And you would be applying for a dealer's license?
correct,
What kind of dealer's license?
you can start doing this,
To sell retail
yes,
with a rental?
yes.
So you will not be selling as is?
No.
Originally, on the May 4th,
You have to give at least 30 days in your state. You can't sell it.
your minutes on May 4th, you said that you would be selling as is. That's what concerns me.
Oh, no, these vehicles are gonna be inspected. They're gonna go to a certified inspector. I can't tell anything as is, there's a law.
Yes, it is.
So if I said
I think that that was in.
that, everything that you sell, if you're a New York State dealer, in order to do the transaction, they have to have an inspection stick around, or they can't be sold.
They cannot.
Right. So I wouldn't even be able to do the deal if they didn't have a stick around.
Correct. So you will be taking them somewhere else to
Yeah.
be inspected. So you're, as far as signs are concerned, you will have a sign on your building that says you are a New York State licensed dealer.
Registered dealer, it's not gonna be a sign to attract people in, I'm not gonna have,
But that
you know,
sign,
so-and-so auto sales on the
that
building.
sign would be visible.
I mean, my driveway's, I don't know, 500 feet from the
Well,
road.
it has
You'd
to
have
be visible,
Yeah, you'd have to drive all the way down it to see it.
but in New York State, that would have to be a visible sign.
Oh, yeah, it'll be on the side of the park, yep.
And there will not be any cars outside in the driveway. Otherwise, it would look like a junkyard.
Oh, yeah.
So when would you be applying for that sign, for that license? And you have not applied.
Oh, you can't, well, you gotta do this in order to apply. I have other dealers that have been selling cars for 40 years, and they're the one guiding me. And to do this. So, if you know, you think you don't need it, or if you could apply without it?
I think you can.
Okay.
You could ask that gentleman over there.
I'm not sure, when I did it the same way this young man's doing it, but they will come out and inspect your property.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So if we were to say you could have a special use permit, doesn't mean you would get a dealer's license.
It's pretty simple to get. I've known people, if once you get this done, this is the hard part. Well, I mean,
Okay.
I just know, I've seen it, multiple people get their dealer's license. This is the toughest part.
All right.
You get dealer plate, obviously, run up here. And then as far as having somebody, the people come in and park, is your driveway wide enough, or do you have a parking area back by the barn so people can park, then you can be able to pull a car up to test drive it?
Yeah. Yeah, we get the 5 cars just in front of the barn.
Okay. The question I am wondering about, you got some cars in the winter, 500-foot driveway,
I keep it loud, I go in and out of the barn.
where the customer comes in, safely with the.
Yeah. I got a snow plow. It's a long enough driveway that I got to plow multiple times a day.
We're in North Haven,
Yeah. We plow 3-4 times.
side of that. Possession of a couple handouts. I don't know if you've seen these. And I imagine the information that we received came off the internet or something. But I'm seeing on a broad basis what's highlighted is you cannot legally open and operate a used car lot in New York State without a dealer's license. We've already talked about that. Okay. And New York State requires anyone selling 5 or more vehicles in a calendar year, displaying 3 or more vehicles at a time to obtain a formal dealer's registration form from the DMV. 5-car limit here, it said only legal law to sell up to those 5 vehicles per year without a license. This applies strictly to individuals. Like if you had 5 people in your family, they'll use it to decide to sell. This rule applies strictly to individuals and businesses alike operating an actual lot, which you're not doing, or proposing to do, or actively advertising multiple vehicles implies a commercial operating, meaning you immediately need a license. I guess this board might look at it like, is this gonna be your only business, or is it, you just do it as a hobby, or?
This would be a second business.
Requirements to get a license, if you plan to open a business, you must formally apply to New York State DMV and meet several district commercial requirements. This isn't a commercial, this is rural residential. Yeah, it would be commercial, obviously. Physical location, they have to be provided to the DMV. They have a identified zone business, which you're trying to do here, like trying to get a special use permit. With office space, and this is designated display area and a permanent sign, doesn't say what permanent sign, but I believe it's the sign that is regulated. Sign issued by the DMV. There needs to be a surety bond for the dealership selling 50 or fewer cars. Per year, the bond is $20,000. That fiduciary note, is it on file with the county or is it on file with the state? Business registration, you need to have a required business name, DBA, and New York State wholesale used cars. There's penalties. You could average up to $10,000 per vehicle without a proper license. Full breakdown and documentation, local permits and application forms need to get your bid certified by the DMV dealer requirements. You can also look at the other requirements on Just Answer on the computer. New York State, a license will sell used car dealers legally prohibit from selling vehicles to the general public. Wholesale dealers can only buy and sell vehicles with other licensed dealers or registered wholesale auto auctions. No, really doesn't. So evidently there's, wait, maybe it's not as long as you think it is, but you're right, you need to have approval from us for a whole bunch of different reasons, okay? And if you have a copy of your application, which maybe we haven't even done.
I haven't had that.
Okay. We're gonna have to do.
You said your driveway is 500 feet?
My front driveway is 5,000 square foot. That's the square footage of it. My back one's about the same thing.
I don't know how far from the road is the barn.
I would say roughly 500 feet.
Partially.
About 500 feet from the back of my house, so 1,000 foot from the road.
This site plan illustrates that it's 434.
That would require a pull-off on that driveway, wouldn't it?
Well,
That's easier.
there is, if you review the site plan, the drive pull off to the residential home would serve that.
That will suffice for a pull-off for a fire truck?
Yeah. That's one, that's more than sufficient.
Right, that was a safety issue.
Okay, Keith, it's gonna go back in your court, okay? Based on the information that you gleaned and what I have that's been provided to me. I know the site because I've been over there, I drive by there all the time. And there's quite a lot of room behind the house, to the barn too, okay? Actually, half of the barn you can't see from the road, because part of the house is in the tank. So, But, that being said, we have a concern, is it gonna change the residential character of the neighborhood from, you know, neighbors? Where do we go from here?
Chris, I got a question before we answer that. If he gets his deal, we okay this, he gets his dealer's license, and he sells many cars as he wants.
Right.
No, it'd be, I keep, it would be, there, you have stipulations you can
We
put
might have
on
to
it
put the stipulations
in your approval of a special use permit.
because, I know the first time it came, I thought you said 4 cars, now it's 6.
I was shooting for 6, and I remember you said there was no way I'm putting 6 in there unless they fit 5 cats.
It looked tight. to
Yeah,
say.
but, I mean, I fit full-size trucks and they're 2500s, 22 of them side by side, I can walk around, no problem.
But that, you can stipulate that as a special use permit condition, that because it's not a commercial site, you can stipulate that everything has to be stored inside, no repair, you can list those as conditions of your special use.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Not a problem. In terms of the dealer's license issue, you can make that a condition of approval, that they provide proof of current dealer's license within, or by a certain date, whatever date you think is appropriate. In terms of the zoning, you have to keep in mind that the RBL district is residential, very low density, that's what it's about. It permits housing, it permits uses that support housing, and it permits agriculture. So the question is that a fit with this? And, I mean, you could certainly look at what's going on nearby. I would assume that if you're gonna be selling cars, you have to operate them in some degree, rev the engines, take their test drive, I have no idea. But there's gonna be some noise, I would think, from the activity. Is it enough to bother the neighbors? I don't know. But your burden is to determine whether it fits the zone as an make that determination, and that kind of ends the discussion.
Discussion with the board? Going one way or the other?
What about,
Special conditions
what
or?
about the winter time, can you sell cars?
I would think so.
Because what my thought is, or my concern is to turn on outside lights so we can get a customer up there in the dark.
Yep.
And cold December night.
Yeah, I mean, I got
And that's gonna disturb the neighborhood.
all my neighbors to the left and right of me, their pole barns are right, they got 2 pole barns to the right of me, and the other one has one to the left, and they're all. I got kids running around 4-wheelers, but I think I make a lot of noise, more than, a lot more noise than I would selling cars, than what we do now.
Are you going to auctions to buy those cars? They flat.
I have Heinrich come there now and tow. If I get a breakdown, I call Heinrich, he delivers a tow car to my driveway, and nobody notices, I never got a complaint.
So you're already selling cars?
No, if I get a breakdown, look on my personal car, I drive some junky trucks.
Okay, one of the first questions was, how many we would store inside? Okay, we'll go back and forth with it. We're talking about 6 that you might want to sell in the case of the year. And we have any idea?
If you tell me 4 or 2, I'm not trying to sell 100 cars, I want to sell a couple cars a month, if I can do that, I'd be happy.
In looking looking on the area, everybody's got a pole barn.
Right.
Okay. I don't know if other people are selling anything out of their pole barns or they have hobbies. If you had cars, I think there's an ordinance in town where there's, you can't have unlicensed cars on your property. Which is basically for something that's had the license but taken off and just left there. You know, weeds grow up. I guess I'd turn around and ask the board one more time for any other special conditions you might want to see on something like this. If there wasn't an approval for this, we'd like to see copies of the application. Time frame that it usually takes to get a license of some sort. Because that has some basis on how you do things and what you do. Does anybody else have any hours of operation?
You have 3 vehicles in there right now that you're on, right?
In the house?
In the barn. The
They're
picture
out of
shows,
there.
so that it looks like there's 2 cars and a pickup in it.
They're out of there now. They were stored for the winter.
Right.
The Mustang that picked up.
Yeah, because it's like 1,650 square feet. Is the inside of that barn. So, didn't hurt a wall, so you're looking at 1,600 square feet. So the max, to me, I would say the max is 5 cars. So you have enough room to move around or move them around without having to drag them all outside.
Yep.
To show somebody one.
Those 2 cars that are, or the 2 cars that I pull out, what I plan on doing if I do get a dealer license, is I'm gonna put them in the front, because I have a 3-car garage. So I can put those vehicles up front, and then I don't want any of my personal stuff in there from selling cars in there, rather than have cars that are being sold.
As this doesn't conform nicely to any other thing that we have written down in our zoning code, okay? The only way up something like this would happen would be special use permit for terms, okay? That reaches out and says what we have to have as well as the state, as well as time. When is the license need to be renewed with the state? If there are complaints or concern during the time of having that license, does the state review it or do we review it on an annual inspection that, Cheryl, that you would make for performance? Does it go with the property or does it go with the present owner and applicant? That's the question.
Dealer licenses per person. So, and we grant permits, land use permits of property, even though somebody's standing up there at the podium, you're really giving it to their property.
Okay.
And it transfers with the property. Presumption.
Okay. So which one of these would, based on the consideration and what we have in front of us after I close the public hearing and the fact that we're trying to use some transparency here, what special conditions that the applicant would have to make?
You want to cap the number of vehicles? That would be one.
We'd like to see 2-3 vehicles a week going down through there, and I don't think the neighbors would either. Just the look, the rural character kept up.
Inventory of vehicles not to exceed
6, 5,
5.
5. Now, is that 5 at one time, or he said he was gonna do so, had to be installed by 6 a year?
So, 5 at any given time.
In the barn.
In the barn.
The code enforcement officer isn't gonna go out there every day. All
Right.
she would do is look at the case and say, that's how many vehicles. that's it."
He does us that he's gonna be honest and do what he's expected to do. I don't think he wants to lose his business once he starts it.
No, I would be risk that something like this so hard to get.
Rather than not be here, you didn't want to have some kind of transparencies. Okay, I think I got enough information.
Barn,
Hmm?
and 5 vehicles in the barn at any given time
My vehicle's for
Appointment.
sale,
for sale.
because he could have one of his own personal back in the back of the barn if he needed for a while.
By appointment.
It's by appointment only, so you don't have to sit around and wait all,
Yeah,
I would imagine your
I would probably,
hours and days would be somewhat short.
yeah, I would only do showings, I would say between like 4 to 7.
Monday through Sunday, all week, 7 days, 4 through 7.
I would hope. That's what I would shoot for.
Maybe Saturday a little more, or no?
Usually, yeah, Saturday's probably a busier time, most people don't like, I mean, everybody's busy during the week, if I'm going to look at a car, I want to go on the weekend.
No Sundays?
We wouldn't have to do Sundays if that's what you guys prefer.
Say like noon to 7 on Saturday.
I think that'd be plenty. If we did weekdays, like, say 4 to 6 or something.
You said 4 to 7.
Yeah, 4 to 7, maybe somewhere.
But he's.
I'm trying to work, see what you guys, I'm trying to see what you guys
Yeah.
like.
I would assume you pretty much want daylight hours. For people.
Yeah.
Even if it's winter, it's not daylight even 4.
Yeah, sometimes a year, you know. Okay, this time, I'll close the public hearing and review. What would, seeker be for something like this? Is it-
Unlisted.
All right, I entertain a secret determination. First of all, for a conditional approval for this used car display in business.
I'll make a motion then for, Christopher Kubiati, 80 North Cameron Road, for a type 2 unlisted negative deck.
Just unlisted,
Correct. From the type
just an unlisted.
Right.
Second.
Second.
Sharon
Okay.
Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Martin.
Yes.
Bruce Snyder,
Yes.
Nestor.
Yes.
Dick Nelson.
Christopher Kubiati here, 80 North Hammond Road, owner Christopher Kubiati, seeking a special use permit to operate a used car resale business as an existing pole barn on his property. The tax account is 008-04-1-6.2. It's an RBL zoning district. We're gonna have you with 5 vehicles in the building at one time. No repairs will be performed here. You're gonna prove to us that you have a dealer license, or to Cheryl, okay? Our hours of operation are gonna be what, Monday through
Monday through Saturday,
Saturday from what hour?
Monday through Friday, 4 to 7.
Saturday, noon to 7, Sunday, none. Anything else you can do?
Do you want to send dealer's license.
So you can't operate till you
Well,
get a dealer's license,
he
you
has
have to verify that for sure.
Have this approval before you can get.
Yeah, you can't put a time frame on it, it's New York State.
Right.
So all those things you have to,
You have to wait till the next budget.
all those things will, need to happen, so whether you would be able to find out the time they have contact, sure. And once again, this is a conditional approval, it gets inspected at least once a year, more often if it becomes issues with it, over time. We'd also have the ability to revoke it. And we have to consent and add to the motion.
A second.
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yeah.
Steve Law,
Yeah.
Dave
Yes.
Martin, Rich Snyder,
Yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Ed Nelson.
Okay. Next item on the agenda.
Thank you.
Well, you've got a lot of things you have to do. Uh, 1179 Masco Road for Jonathan Engler.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Chris Schultz. I'm here representing this application. This is a lot that was approved back in the mid-90s. It was 9 lots that were all done at once. This lot was not built on, the adjacent lots have been since then. Because of the time between the original approvals and now, it's appropriate to do this as an amended site plan. This will allow us to get approvals from the Monmouth Water Authority, and then we have water out there. We did check to see if we had the ability to potentially connect into the sanitary sewer that runs down Masco Road, especially the folks up Kendall, and they said it's a little bit too early with their system. They're still trying to get folks online and all that. We've done similar ones in Carmel where once they have it up and established and the lines are in, there's a potential to allow other folks to get as out-of-district customers. What it would do is allow the debt service to be paid off a little faster for the folks that are on it. But for now, we're showing a leach system in the position that was originally approved. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. There was already an easement given to the town along the tributary of Creek. Plans have been out to the health department, we submitted out to Chippo, because this one doesn't even know it's developed before and everything else. It was tagged down, I'm not sure if it has having some archaeological significance. So everything went out to those folks and weren't submitted for them to respond. Most likely because the site's been disturbed around it, they may probably come back and say there's no issue. There are no existing historic structures on this lot. Sometimes this proximity to other things in the neighborhood are that checked off when you get to the timeline. I do have a copy of the original Jensen plan. I wanted to, when I just represent, if you guys still have it or not, but it shows how the lots were all originally approved and kind of a cool thing. Yep. Yeah, at the time, there was a water main that was approved as well. And like I said, we've already submitted to the water authority. They've done their review and sent out a letter basically approving the service. Existing stone drive that goes in right now. Checked with County DOT. That was considered like a farm access lane. There will be submission approval to the County DOT for a formal step project. When they go over the construction.
See, the lot numbers have changed. 1275, this is 1270, 1279, so the numbers have changed.
1179.
This is 1179. What's written on there and annotated was something done in office, something we did some previous work. We're actually talking about lot 8, and I think we did lot 8, that's the one that we're dealing with on this one.
Janine, are we gonna need anything beyond that close in that area? We're gonna need,
This is on the south side of Masco Road, right?
Yes.
So it's not in the other road.
okay, it's across the street. Did, Kendall say the out of district, would be,
They basically said they're still hooking folks up, and once they get their system up and running and they have some confidence in it, they could potentially lock folks in. But it was kind of like, well, we're not even all hooked up yet and running, so check back with us. And again, part of the, whenever you submit to the health department of each, one of the things is what's the proximity to sanitary sewer? And they, the health department saw that on the plan and said, please provide evidence for the reason why you can't connect in, so they're already on it.
JP, do we have input on that? Because I know this was discussed.
Yeah, so I don't believe that, last I knew, maintenance and control of this sewer serves the Kendall district. Maintenance, operation, ownership of this has not been resolved, as it turned over to the town of Kendall. So I don't think there's any resolution regarding the town allowing connections to it. The Lake Shore Sewer District and along Walker Lake Ontario Road, Force Main, we've already been dealing with private connections outside of the district on that piece, because we have jurisdiction over that. This is still,
Because they're on county highway.
no, because Kendall installed this in the town of Hamilton, County Kendall, as far as I know, had not reached agreement on ownership, maintenance, and operation of these portions of the town.
The one good thing for the homeowner is that they do approve it, it's on the driving section.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, because the
They wouldn't have to
lift
put a pump in.
Yeah, yeah.
The lift station's not that far.
Yeah.
So there's some gravity coming through. But I knew there was some consternation because we didn't know what was gonna happen, because it's gonna open it up for a lot of people. And you have somebody that's gonna spend $15,000 to $20,000 for a leach field coming up, it becomes very mundane to this owner.
Yeah, it's,
And so,
it would be good to get that resolved, but it's not been resolved. And certainly, just for, we may have spoken about this before, but because Kendall is outside of Monroe County, Monroe County made sure that there was capacity reserves for Monroe County residents before they allowed anything else.
So for anybody else to be able to put them, they would still have to approve it from the town to do it.
Correct, but Monroe County made sure there was capacity for doing things.
just
For additional.
residents.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's normal, and that's basically what the county, their notice to me was, get something in writing saying why you can't hook it immediately, and I'll get correspondence from there.
Well, I don't wanna beat this to death, but is there a need for correspondence to us to Kendall saying we're getting a request for a residential unit on this side of the town, and we'd like to know prior to,
I think that's in the agreements between towns, the town of Kendall and the town of Hamilton Board.
Yeah, I don't know specifics on that, talking to Steve.
okay, we've got somebody's building a house in Hamlin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
Where that being said,
Right.
is there, through our comments, should just be acknowledged by our board as well as Kendall's board. See, excuse me, if something can be done in an interim. Instead of everybody walking in a different directions.
Right, and we hate to see the resources put in Litchfield that in a year and a half could be tied in 6 weeks. Could be tied in, I agree with you, Chris.
Okay, well.
What I'll do is I'll make the initial back out to Kendall, I'll make sure Kathy takes the in on it, and then making the time to do the, also put a little bit of a push on it. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, Phil, you know, maybe we'll let everybody know that, yes, maybe we'll be going with this. Maybe it would be, someone that lives again, it would probably be a good thing.
It would help Kendall out too, because it reduces the debt. Every person that goes in there.
Everything's
pays the same
gotta
amount.
start someplace, Chris.
But I'm saying, you know, you're one of those folks on the lake that have been for 30 years, and suddenly you have other people contributing, that drops down when the period that they're paying is reduced.
Yeah, it's a conversation to have with Kendall. I don't know how far along they are, and I know it had to be, in order, correct me if I'm wrong, JP, but if anybody other than the lake hooks on, it has to be done with the state first, as far as finalized. before
That's
anybody
kind of
can do it.
the impression it gave me, that it's.
And I don't think,
Yeah, but-
I don't think Kendall is there yet, and I don't, but I don't know how far off they are either.
Yeah, they said they're still hooking up
They're-
houses,
they
they're
don't
still
have
testing the
half of it.
system.
Right.
Yeah.
And the pump station at Hammond there, that like switch is what they're doing.
Yeah. That's what-
I don't know what the issue is, but it's an issue.
And it might be something as simple as showing an alternate connection.
Not something
to
that
the
can't be
sewer
fixed easy, but
on the
it's
plan,
an issue.
so depending on when my client actually wants to go, he'll have the two options. If the sewer is available, I can show an alternate of the design to be, use that to submit to Kendall saying, whenever you do approve it, this is where we'd like to go, and make sure they're cool with it.
There is an existing easement on this property already, isn't there?
Yes, I agree, yes, sir.
JP, do you have this?
The old one, probably not anymore.
If you would be more than happy to walk that across the room, it's cheaper than the mail.
Scanned it, so I'll send it to you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Actually, if you want to keep this for the town.
You just got rid of his other one. He doesn't want to-
Chris, email it to me, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you
Well,
get to be
anyways,
the
to
first.
get back to this, Keith, this is an amendment. Does we need a public hearing?
The question really is, are we tweaking the old design, or are we all but starting from scratch? If it's a substantially new design, then I'd say yes, you need a public hearing. If you just see this as minor tweaks, then it's an extension of what was already approved, and we don't need a public hearing. It's a judgment call.
The box that the home fits in is probably not the same as it was 30 years ago. Okay.
Well, each is the same spot, the house placement is about the same. You know, they did, a little walkout rear yard, if you wanted, you know, tapering walkout. They graded it 1-on-5, so it's nice and flat, so we mowed it. But other than that, there really very little change in the plan from what was originally approved. But then we now have public water instead of a well, and we have a chance of getting this sanitary sewer.
I think I'd like to have JP have the ability to look at it.
I'll look at it formally, but it's, to me, it's minor modifications.
Excuse me?
To me, it was an approved subdivision, we have minor modifications to improve.
Minor modifications.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could make a condition that when, if at all possible, connect to the sanitary sewer prior to, building permit.
The health department regs basically say,
Says-
we'll let you have a leach system until sanitary sewer is available, at which time you must connect. That's county regulation.
Keith Seeger.
If it's, if we're just doing it as a modification, I'd say type 2, frankly. I do have a request. The easement, we call it out as a map easement, but that tells me it wasn't recorded, so.
I can do that.
Yeah.
We'll do a parallel recording of filing for this portion of the deal.
So if you could make it conditioned upon attorney approval.
Number two, someone make a stand at seeker? Okay, I'd like to make a motion for a seeker, type 2. Declaration for the Jensen subdivision. Mascot Road. Second. Call the vote, please, Cheryl.
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Yeah.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Bruce Schleider,
Yes.
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Ed Nelson.
Yes.
Very good. Motion for conditional approval. Approval with conditions.
Make a motion for conditional approval for the application of Jonathan Engler, owner, Jonathan Engler, seeking an amended site plan review for approval for the construction of a single-family home with associated improvements located at 1179 Mossville Road. 005.02-1-090. The following documents have been submitted for review. Letter of intent, preliminary and final single lot subdivision application, short
Based on the attorney's approval.
yes, and condition for attorney's approval.
Second.
Very good. Call the vote, please.
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Yeah.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Bruce Schleider,
Yes.
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Ed Nelson.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Good
Chris,
night.
is the reason the houses are close to the road, not so close to the road, due to that tributary,
Yeah.
because of the septic systems?
The septic was perked up there. Nowadays, the health department likes 100-foot separation. Any type of tributary, wetland. Years ago it was 30 feet and they bumped it up to 100. So with that there, basically where it was originally.
Just the same as from the Prairie Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were able to meet all the current regs. All right, well, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Next item on the agenda is for Andrew Klein, 1327 North Hamlin Road. For the delivery of soil and soil materials to be processed. It's been recommended by the zoning board for this application to us. Okay. And you are?
Andrew Cowan.
Okay.
Basically, I was told to come here from zoning to kind of see where to go from there. About getting the ability to screen topsoil there.
We're gonna thank them. So what are you doing on site? What are you, where are you receiving the material from? And exactly what are you doing with it? Are you
Okay, so
clipping the soil, or what are you doing with it?
So basically, for say there's a house built or something like that, they scrape all the topsoil off and then get rid of whatever's not needed, or they can't use it there, and then basically buy that, get it dropped, no digging or nothing like that's going on the property, the topography, or whatever you wanna call it, say it's all the same, so essentially, comes in, gets dropped, screened, and then either sent out in dump trailers or dump trucks. It's not, no monetary value is getting exchanged on property. Basically, everything's being done for, say, you needed 5 yards of dirt at your house. Dirt gets dropped at your house, then monetary value is changed at house. Nothing is like that being done on the property. All being done off property.
you deliver the stuff yourself?
Sometimes.
Okay. Probably gonna need to see where we're going with this within the zoning. Hours of operation, standard letter of intent.
I think our hours of operation were on the special use permit, I believe.
I don't have it. So. But that is there.
Yep.
All right, once again, we have something that can only exist with a special use permit and with conditions.
And there's also a tax map of where it would be on the property. It's a vacant parcel. It's right next door to my house.
That's pretty close.
I think where it's being done is about 75 feet off the edge of the road. To me, it's just less land disturbance to do it. Obviously, we're not right on the road, but, you know, less roadway to put in, yada, yada, yada.
Cheryl, this is, trying to get somebody in compliance with, something that's going on that we don't look at from day to day. So,
It's been about a year.
Give or take.
has there been complaints, concerns?
Concerns.
I mean, this is something that's typically not done near the road. It's on the site, you're in a pit. I drive by this and I've seen it and wondering how you're getting away with it, yes.
Yeah, because it's kind of a gray
The
zone.
neighbors can't be happy with what's going on.
But I'm not breaking any noise ordinance. As for, you're allowed up to 1,000 yards of filter on a property at any given time without a permit. There's never more than, well, there's never been 1,000 yards on the property, but nothing like that
I don't
is.
think 1,000 yards of filter is meant to continue in operation.
Correct. Correct, but it still goes into the same thing of, you can have, for say, I wanted to call for 20 dump trucks to bring a filter. There's nothing in the code that says I cannot do that.
You get a filter permit first.
No, anything under 1,000 yards, I don't think you get a filter permit.
I don't know where it is in the code. Do you know where it is?
I do not, but I know it was sent in a packet last year.
Yeah. Get quite a bit of experience with contaminated soil with
Yep.
Kodiak.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, it's all, if I ever get anything, it's,
And the question is, where is this material coming from? And is it documented? Is it hazardous material when it's brought on the property?
Okay.
Because
yep, oh no,
the slang
Yep.
that goes with that is a solution to pollution is dilution.
Yep.
Are you getting bad topsoil and mixing it in with good so you can
no, I
make
get what you're saying. Yeah, it's not like it's coming out of the old corner store over on 19 and 18 where they,
It could be coming out.
yes,
there.
but I get what you're saying.
And are you,
Anything out of your,
crushing concrete?
anything out of your orchards, topsoil stuff is worried about arsenic.
Yep.
So there's gotta be some type of.
I mean, I'm talking like contamination like silt fence or being done on a concrete pad per se, or something along those lines, so it doesn't penetrate.
Building, when you have a hard time building in an airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we'd have to know where the material is coming from.
Yeah, see, it never comes from the same spot mainly. Well, it depends. I bought a lot of topsoil out of, where Steve's, it's Wilder Estates. It used to be an old farmland, that they're now turning into a housing tract. There's still a suffice amount to come out of there, but if, you know, if they need soil samples, to get tested to see.
That's the one over at Gillette Road.
Nope. So Steve Convenience going, out of Hilton, at the corner of,
Yeah.
Nope,
It's Manitowoc and,
Yep.
Manitowoc and Wild.
Yep. Manitowoc Wilder Estates. I bought quite a bit out of there last year, and then that was all old farmland that they're developing into houses. But if they required soil samples of where it came from, that wouldn't be a problem.
It was the development of Bob Crowley drove in and built there. And he had new homes, his lawns already been seeded, and he had to take the topsoil all out of it. After been seeded because it was an old asphalt winter, and he had to bring new topsoil in. We won't have any way of knowing what you're bringing in
Unless it's tested.
unless it's tested.
Correct. Now, it goes on one of those things too, what is the difference between somebody cutting down like an ash borer tree, processing the firewood, and then what happens if the tree is infested with ash borer and now going, it's obviously, because firewood's gotta stay within, is it 50 miles or 75 miles of wherever it's cut, or something along those lines. Now, what makes processing firewood different than taking essentially rocks out of dirt?
Sure, we have a short one going on
No, we do not.
Well, I think I'd like to get more information before we go any further with this, okay? And one of the things would be if there was some kind of way to verify that the soil coming through it is not tainted with something.
Yep.
If it's coming off a subdivision, usually design professionals required to either through the health department or state to provide studies, if I'm not correct, JP?
It usually comes to start at the health department.
Right. So there would be some documentation showing that there was chemicals used.
Does this fall under recycling? The recycling dirt brought in? And is that fine as a DEC regulations requirement?
Yes, I know you can't dig. There's no digging. You cannot essentially strip your land and sell soil. That's a big no.
I understand, but I think processing material of unknown origins.
Like I said, I'd like to have an environmental form filled out right now. And a little bit more information. Is there ability to move that farther away from the
100%.
road?
If I need to move it on the property next door too, so it's further off the road.
Well, I don't want to go on somebody else's.
No, I own right next door too. They're two separate parcels. But I'm saying I have basically the driveway on that side's double the length, triple the length.
I can't tell you yes or no at this point.
That's okay.
I need to have some more information. JP, you want to add anything to this?
Well, I think I'm step on Keith's toes here. It's not specifically listed, it is a commercial operation, buying, selling, and processing topsoil. So it's not a straight up permitted use. Like other applications, you have to find it compatible with the zoning. And it would require a site plan, special use permit, public hearing. What I missed.
I'd go one step further. I don't think it's permitted. And I don't think you have the leeway to make it permitted. The earlier application with the used car sales, there is something specifically in the RBL district that says if you have an existing accessory building and the use will go in that particular building, that you may find potentially that use hidden inside the pole barn is somehow compatible with the RBL. This is not. I just don't see it. And I saw the materials for the first time this evening, and there's an attachment setting out the landscaping subdivision of the zoning code, landscaping and buffering, 520-45, and there is a subsection on topsoil. But I interpret that to mean removing topsoil as you would do, say, on a construction site. You know, you build 100 houses, you have leftover topsoil because you don't put it back where the houses are. What do? Well, you sell it off, that's what you do. It's a one-off event, it's not a never-ending event. This is a topsoil business that could last for eons in theory. That would have to be set out in the body of the code. It's not permitted use.
On the application it also says ATD business in Masco Road. And the difference there is that is one of their businesses is storage of materials that they do use in landscaping, okay? And that's a difference than what you're doing, in fact, you're solely dealing with soil, okay? Where there might be a whole bunch of other stuff on top of it. And the fact that, even though we went through some legal hoops and stuff like that, notifications, that there is other businesses that are like what they're doing there versus what you're doing. So before we go too much further, we're gonna need more information to make a decision.
So I guess my question for you is, so now the other person that's getting material dropped off, are they having documented per se where all this material came from, that they're getting dropped on the property?
I didn't say that. I said what they're doing is they're storing material that they've purchased, maybe from somebody like you, I don't
Yep.
know, okay? But that's part of their business, okay? So
Yep.
they have enough topsoil and stuff to continue their overall business.
Correct.
Okay, there's a difference there.
Yep.
Okay. And I'd also like to see where it goes. I'm gonna probably go home and look it up, where this 1,000-yard thing came up. And recycling is also another issue that we have to look at. So I want everybody on board before we go any further with this. So I probably like to hear a motion to continue this. We'll make the motion if someone would
Well,
like that.
do we make a motion to continue? Basically, it's a dead issue.
No, it's up to the attorney gives us guidance, but he doesn't direct how we go.
Well, I'll offer this much. Before you approve something, you have to have something to approve.
Correct.
And the burden is on the applicant to
Yeah.
specify in the code what he hangs his hat on. Not talking about other businesses that he's heard of or may be familiar with, but what provision of the code makes this legal? And his materials basically say what he wants to do. He wants to screen topsoil. Well, that's great, but that doesn't really talk about the zoning issue. So until we get that,
Correct, I'm not saying we could approve it tonight at all. I'm saying that we don't have to kill it tonight based on that. We can ask for more information before we would make a decision. That's all I'm saying.
understood. I mean, I think you have a choice. You could shoot it down right now if you're so inclined. If you want to leave it open, that's certainly with your prerogative. But if we're going to come back here, I mean, he has to come back here, I would think, with a lawyer, not just saying, gee whiz, I'd like to do this. You got to talk about the law specifically, what section of the code gets him what he needs.
Well,
The
I'd like to-
zoning sent him here. because
Yeah, I mean, if I gotta get an
it's
attorney,
zoning.
that's fine.
With that being said, is there a motion to continue this?
Doesn't.
Or is there gonna be a motion to deny this thing? Due to insufficient material, I can't make a decision, or ask somebody to make a decision based on the zoning.
Not to step on anybody's toes, but since the applicant hasn't really told us what he's asking for legally, I would prefer that you deny it. Because the application's in,
Is incomplete.
yes. That, because what permit do you
There's
grant?
people going around in a circle.
It's not for us to find one for him.
Okay, I
Make a motion to deny.
this was with,
Without prejudice.
Without
Without prejudice.
Andrew Pong, 1327 North County Road, for special use permit. Spring Council.
Second. Roll call, please.
Sharon Steigerwald? Steve Law?
No.
Dave Martin?
Yes.
Rich Flyers?
Abstain.
James Vincent?
Yes.
Ken Mostly.
Yes.
But no, yeah, I can get an attorney, it's, no
Yeah.
problem.
Something.
Yeah, because like I said, it's a weird subject, because there's no one else that does it. There's, you know what I mean, there's so many gray areas with it, it's a weird subject, so.
Well, there we have it.
Thank you.
All right.
So essentially, for the next time around, get pretty much, environmental,
You will at minimum need an environmental assessment.
Okay.
It has to be the brand new one they just adopted. Good luck finding it, by the way. But there's one that just came out because they just changed the law. I think your attorney is gonna have to take a look at the zoning code and tell us specifically what section and subsection applies, then make the pitch.
perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
So if the apple orchard soil is contaminated with arsenic, what about the apples I was eating all those years? Don't want to know.
You washed them before you ate them.
Just if it makes you itch a little bit.
I think we're supposed to
just-
wash
You're
it.
supposed to wash them and peel them.
Yeah, you want both of them.
We went like this.
Wasn't that the, doing like a hand, Harmon Park there? They had to go in and redo all that?
Oh, that's.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, they overlay it all, with clean soil. And the subdivision that Jim was referring to, the all-season subdivision,
All right, guys.
they were mixing soils and diluting it down to get below everybody.
I just wanted
Okay,
puppies.
folks.
That's all I want. I don't want to tie in
I'm
anything.
watching you fall asleep. Okay.
It's been a long couple
And,
weeks.
I know your family, so I got sneaky. But anyways, it was kind of weird after we went through all we went through the last meeting. And we went and what the decision was to make sure that it was completely applicable, okay, to this situation. We asked different people, and it's a matter of protection for you and clarity and stuff like that as well as for us. And probably Cheryl may have explained it better than I do, but I'm tired too, so. It's quite the narrative here.
Well, I want everybody to be refreshed.
Right.
So I'm not even really sure what happened, so like I followed up, Cheryl and I played a little bit of tag.
Yeah.
She was on vacation, I went on vacation. I work crazy hours in the cities on afternoons, and then I get held over until 3 a.m. every day, so we've missed each other a lot. And then finally, just like when you come to the meeting, so I took off of work last minute and I'm here.
Yeah, it is the last minute agenda.
So I don't know what happened, other than there was just further discussion.
Has anybody had a chance to read this?
I don't think Sharon did it either.
You get minutes.
Oh, the minutes.
It's in the board agenda. It's in the agenda under that page. The agenda.
This was, last month's
There
meeting,
were a couple.
felt really good walking out of here.
Yeah.
We really had something, it's really good. And then the last couple of weeks, I came in to get my bail for tonight. And Cheryl was kind of concerned about, did we miss something, is it something that we gotta do, should we begin a public hearing, whatever.
Right.
And found out tonight that I was the guy that got the ball rolling, so I'd like to be the guy to apologize to make you sit there all evening and this I love Lucy and all that.
There's still this good stuff in
Yeah, we've got some problems and we want to make this right because it's so unusual.
Okay.
So it's.
Yeah, I'm all
We're not
for it.
here to beat you up or anything.
No, I'm all for it, because then if it's done right, then we don't have to worry about
Yeah.
issues.
Right, and then,
Because I got a neighbor that loves to find issues, so we can make it all,
Yeah, we'll make a special list for
you know.
but, and then, everybody within 500 feet would be notified, so everybody knows what's going on. Rather than being surprised, and bring bang.
Yeah, all of our neighbors are wonderful, just the one.
Just the one.
Just the one.
Well, if you have others, you'll break the rest of their hearts. But, and basically, I think what'll happen with the notification and everybody else, it would still probably end up with the approval of special use permit, but it'd be some conditions, okay? So, it would probably be more like it's a not for life of living on Clayton Drive that you would always have 4 dogs in your yard, because maybe after having a litter of puppies or 2, you won't want 4 dogs.
I don't want 4 dogs.
But anyways, that's just
It's a lot of work.
of,
We have 4 kids.
A little bit more was done talking with zoning board council and so forth. So, I know you had to sit through this all tonight, everything else. I don't know if there's anything else that we need to have, but I'd like to schedule a public hearing for next month.
Okay.
With you folks.
Yep.
And take a nap before you come.
Being Monday again.
Okay. Can you turn my phone?
And are we sure now, is it still classified as a public hearing?
There's no kennel. There's nothing in the zoning code that says there's a kennel. All right, you have something that's similar to it, all right, I mean, being directed by the code compliance officer, it is more like, if you don't come in compliance to what the Ag and Markets Code, and all the other stuff that you would have going through AKC and everything else like that, and if there was something wrong, then it becomes a criminal offense, and we didn't want to look at, especially, we didn't want to look at, something like that. And, so, we struggled a little bit with that to try to figure out what we could use.
Is there a definition of kennel in our code? Is there a definition of kennel in our code?
We tried looking it up and ended up going to the dictionary, because a kennel can be just about anything where you house a canine.
So my house, we have kennel.
We have other kennels,
Huh?
we have other kennels in town.
That's what I'm saying,
But the
how do you define
the kennel is a business in town, what we have in town. That's the business, that's the difference from what these folks want to do. They want to be able to have a 4th dog for whatever reason, and oh, by the way, I want to breed them so that my friends and other people that I know that like to use English short hair, okay, pointers, right?
German. Yep.
Well, also we stumbled on special use permit. Special use permit goes with the property, not with the.
Okay.
Okay, so
You move it, you're done.
the property has a provision for the 4th dog.
But everybody have to go
So
through it again.
your wife says, hey, we're building a new house.
Right.
Yeah, come back and jump through.
I'll tell you what, after watching some of this, I will never build a house. I will buy one that's already
We
built.
don't want you to move out of hand.
Oh, I know, where to go. I'll just buy my parents' house.
So,
Cause they were,
I will say we have, Pheasantville,
Yeah.
we have Zen Dog Inn,
Right.
and then one on Chase Road, who all have special use permits for breeding. Really just,
That's,
yeah, and
yeah.
Pheasantville is a,
But when we talk about not any of public hearing, we talk about it because it wasn't a special use permit.
We talked about major, and we talked about minor, and just
So
other
as long as-
codes that can be realistic, and by the time we got done looking at through the code, we really didn't have anything but what the state regulation would call a major and minor, okay, subdivision things, stuff like that, for zoning. So, that's what we would like to do.
Would it help to see what your special use permits for these other ones you just talked about?
you want me to email them to you guys? See what you want?
Maybe that would help.
Or would this be considered straightly a home occupation?
I don't think labeling it a kennel is a good idea.
Why? Like I said, if
Kennel would
the
be a-
definition of kennel can be anything, so my house a kennel, her house a kennel, they're running is it a home occupation versus a kennel? That's the
It's
question.
become a commercial use then.
And it's not.
It's not, I know it's not.
No, it's not, that's what I'm saying, is it just a simple home occupation to breed some dogs and have one extra?
I would say yes.
I'm saying, or are we turning this into way more than it needs to be?
It's more than it needs to be.
I still think you need a special use permit for
That's
everybody
fine.
within 500 feet, to be notified.
It's fine with this.
If there's precedent for that, then yeah.
Mhm.
If it's already been
Because we
done.
have the other ones, it's just they're gonna be conditional, okay? It might be as simple as when one dog dies, so send you back within 3 years.
Right.
Question for council.
And that comes straight, and I didn't talk to you about it, but I happened to run into the forest attorney, the zoning forest attorney. And I said, why did you do that? Why didn't you kick it to us? There's no penalty. You know, it's business.
Such special use permit runs with the land, correct?
Yes.
Home occupation does not, correct? It would terminate.
I don't recall.
Well, you're all
That
gonna
is
get
a
a whole
question.
month to think about it.
Well, I think really
It's gotta be a first.
the building inspector needs to have a conversation with the applicant and identify where in the code she believes it belongs. And then we can have discussion as to, based on that,
It'll be
what's the procedure that follows?
all before they have to sit in the audience, because they're gonna be first on next month.
Well, there's that too, yes. It's always good to be first.
So, but yeah.
What is it?
So would it- someone
63
like to
days for
make-
puppies?
Pretty much, we can have a litter by then.
Yeah, bring the puppies.
We'll do show and tell.
So I have a quick question though. So like you do the public hearing and just say that one person shows up that has the problem. What happens, right? Like if someone, is it just like,
Most times we can condition that away,
okay,
okay? And if it's the majority of the people, is always what speaks, I
Okay.
guess. Unless it's a health and safety concern, okay, like your yard's got weeds, deep, or, a problem with, dogs leaving their spot here and spot there, stuff
Breeding
like
masses.
that. Yeah. We had one that wanted to breed one time, that the dogs were taller than this, it wasn't a problem, except they were all trained to kill on contact.
well, it's the guy that, the dog's a whore.
You didn't want to
I
go
worked
to
on
the
the
door
ambulance,
there.
then we had to sit there when we went
But
nuts.
that came
36
to
hours.
a fairly decent fruition
Yeah,
afterwards. That's what it is. So we're gonna move this on, we'll forward.
I can suggest,
Okay, may I have a motion? We'll discuss it. Okay. Get the public hearing.
and I will supply all the information from the other three that we have in the town.
But they're not gonna mention.
builder special permit.
No, that's fine, if we get all the spots in the town, then we have a special. Okay. If it's a home occupation, you know, we can go with the person whose occupation it is. Okay. But a special permit, we would have the ability to have somebody come in and say, we don't need this anymore. Okay, no, we do need this, okay, so, for a variety of reasons. So, I'd like to make a motion to put these people back to another night of,
July sixth.
yeah.
Does that give enough time to get the notice out, you know?
Oh, yeah. How many people are planning to be here on July
I
6th?
know, because that's the legal holiday, isn't it? Everything's closed,
Yes, the day after.
yeah.
I don't know if I, I don't know if my
I
floater,
won't be there.
my floater, I think is the third. That's my-
How many people we need to pass the vote? Four.
Majority of 7 is for it.
It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 days.
We have no line, that's what we do.
I will be in Mount Rushmore.
Where are you gonna be July sixth? Here.
You guys never are here for July 4th.
All right, can I get a motion?
Make a motion for not approval, but, for public hearing for, this is, for Sarah Ritchie, correct? Sarah Ritchie, 8th and Plain Drive for next month.
Second,
Okay, Jim Steigerwald,
yes.
Steve Law,
Yeah, next one.
Dave Mark,
Yes.
Chris Slider,
Yes.
Jim Hanson,
Yes.
Ed Nelson.
Yes.
We're on the 6th and then.
Okay.
You won't be here,
I
you
don't do very-
No.
I don't have to do it.
It's not a holiday for the town, right?
The 6th? No, we're-
It's just the one day after the 4th.
Going with the town calendar, we don't get.
Town calendar's probably taking Friday.
Oh, you get off Friday, the 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be back either way that day if I'm camping,
Yeah, you get off the 3rd.
Okay, so I will be in touch with both of you too. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thank you for.
You gotta hold me.
Have some dessert.
No worries.
My sugar's dropping at this
I was just like, wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something.
Boston cream pie or chocolate
It
cheesecake.
was dropping a lot.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just kidding. I was,
Just because you made it sit so
I
long.
might have, I might have to abstain, but how big is the little one?
The smallest one, she's
No, the first one.
the kid or the dog?
No.
I got lots of kids.
Oldest kid? Thursday?
The oldest, so our oldest kid, well, so we have 6 combined, because we're a blended family.
Yeah.
So my oldest is 20. And then today, my 17-year-old just got his license. So, and then I have a 12-year-old, an 8-year-old, an 8-year-old. Yeah. And we stopped travel cheerleading with our daughter, and she just got into racing cars, so I'm even happier now.
Alright.
Yes.
What's she racing?
Dirt micro sprint cars up at Lime Rock in Caledonia.
Yeah.
So,
well.
yeah, we used to travel all over the Northeast to cheer, and she watched her littlest brother racing with his dad. She was like, I want to race cars, I want to cheer. I'm like, done. So, it's,
So she crashed this.
What's mom think about that?
you know what?
I
They
was
got
all
dad a
for
new
it.
truck, they got a new trailer.
Yeah,
and
keep
we'll
one
race
out of
cars.
everything. We got a new.
In the 250?
600
600.
cc.
600?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trucking from a dad that traveled all over the country with his son racing.
yeah.
Be careful what you wish for.
You know what though?
Well, she
Yeah,
just
but
crashed
travel
now with a lot more money.
Careful what you wish for.
My wife won't let me drive through Mumford anymore.
It is going to Mumford, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we end up getting
Let me
a
go up there.
permanent campsite right across the street from there. So that way we don't have to drive back here.
I don't have all time, that's not fair.
It worked out for
You're
me.
sleeping in the trailer.
Okay, we'll see you.
Thank
Thank you very much.
We'll see you in a month.
Have a good night.
For my 70th birthday.
Who knows if it's like all the, I think the legal ones are up to zones.
Saturday, change.
All right, you guys,
Certain,
you got anything you want to discuss?
yeah, we don't know.
You sure you got anything?
Yeah, we've changed around.
Oh, okay. You already apologized. Okay. And you, are you on the agenda?
Not on the agenda. I'm Larry Heininger, engineer for Dave Bauer. We were here 2 months ago and we moved his subdivision. And the attorney finally wrote the deeds so we could prepare the plat. And Cheryl's got the plat. And Dave asked me, I wasn't gonna come tonight, but Dave said, could you please go and see if you can get the plat? Because the only signature that the county needs is yours as the planning board chair. Because this is not like a residential subdivision where all the people need to sign off like the fire marshal.
Yeah, the drawing, you got everybody else?
Everybody else is fire marshal and highway, not getting them first thing in the morning.
Excuse me real quick. Chris, did you used to live in Highview?
I'm sorry.
Did you used to live in Highview?
No.
Excuse me. All right, I had to go find
Oh.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, did you used to live on Highview?
Oh, yeah.
No.
I couldn't.
Oh, she was right.
Yeah.
Did you say yes?
Right.
Yes, yes, I did, 22.
I was this big and you used to live across the street from me. So,
What was your family name?
Kelton,
Yes.
yes. And then you moved down the creek. Because we used to drive our
Can't get away
boat.
with nothing.
I know.
She was right.
He grew up.
Yeah.
Your wife's mother used to be a nurse, and my wife was a nurse.
Yep.
So that's like
I kept seeing the name and I went in
That's
that car
why
and I
I
was
can't
like,
say yes or no.
Let me tell you, most people try to forget it.
yeah, I was like this big probably.
Meanwhile, we're waiting on 2 signatures. We're good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have two more. The thing is, the fire marshal isn't always here. When I come in at like 7:30,
Right.
he will be here.
I just wish I didn't have to push through the whole meeting.
Well, we had contacted each other saying he knew that he would not be ready.
Again, I talked to Dave and I said, Dave, could you go to the meeting? And he said, I'm not in town. Could you go? And I said, sure. So it's a beautiful night. I'll stop at the Dakota, get some wings, head for
That's
home.
what you gotta do. All right, well, I just assume, get all the signatures in before it goes to the.
Right, I just say for this type of plat, you really don't need all those people piling on, but that's the way you do it, understood.
Okay, very good.
I mean, if I pick 3, it'd be you, JP, and attorney or something. But as far as the county surveyor and the county clerk,
Well, I get it, but for it to be verified, it should have the other 2.
yeah, I don't want those people to feel left out.
Thank you.
And I mean, I've been going to these
Left out,
meetings
I guess,
for over
if,
40 years, so for me, this is kind of like watching, I Love Lucy, you know?
I changed my wife's name to Lucy, so
All right. Cheryl, let me know, probably Wednesday. Tomorrow night's Webster, that's gonna be another raucous meeting.
Okay, no problem, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I was up for quarter to midnight last night responding 6 pages about a pickleball club. JP knows how that goes.
Okay, Janine,
Are we on discussion now?
yes.
Conservation Board welcomed our new member Eric Roots for the last meeting. So he's, getting his feet wet. And just some information about Hamlin Beach. You probably already know Area 1 is finally open. All the updating has been done and it's looks very good. Which is a work in progress. At Hamlin Beach, they did some dredging. They're going to stop work for the summer and they will reconvene the work at Yankee Marsh in the fall.
So to the creek outlet or inlet, did that close up again, need to be dredged?
Yeah, it was filling in, there's a lot of invasive, you're talking about invasive, yeah, a lot of invasive species of native species, and they're digging down, so there's more habitat for the animals and creatures that live there, so they're revitalizing the marsh because that was very good.
Okay, very good.
I want to say that Dave told me, the urgency is he wants to sell the land, but rightly he's already on the land without ownership and wants to start tiling the fields, and he doesn't have ownership, which is kind of a slippery slope. I'm sure you can appreciate it. So that's why.
Well, hopefully tomorrow won't be a problem anymore.
Right.
So,
Just wanted to let you know the world I'm living in.
okay, very good.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
We've been working on a new solar law, and we're just waiting for some language from the attorney. We should be reviewing that in the next zoning workshop as far as the new code for solar and decommissioning, and then we're looking at language for the junk law. And then I was just talking with JP. Maureen's also reviewing the sewer law to allow access along Sweden Water. So we're just talking about that now. That was a very brief discussion, but that's coming down the pike as we talked about the Kendall deal tonight.
As a result of some other discussions that we had, Maureen said there was probably some other things in the wind that probably be going over for the zoning law, either through clarity or brevity or some other things. So I encourage anybody that sees anything, even on the boards, when we have a workshop, come if you can. Okay. Not everybody can read everybody else's mind or what we're doing with the other towns, and the more correct we give to the Department of State when we do our zoning and stuff like that, the easier it is. And it includes you too, Keith, because you move around and you see a lot of different things. Okay, so be part of the issue at hand, and not the problem.
My doctor says I should be moving, so. Happy to help.
Is there, I'm curious, is there any burden of proof on the solar farms to prove monthly or whatever that they're performing to a certain level?
That's,
Because if you drive around and you look at half these fields where the panels are turned upside down and it's disgusting. You know what I mean? It's like.
yeah, that's gonna be part of the news.
Okay, it seems like they build them and then they run away.
If you look on NYSERDA website, there isn't any solar farms that are operating over 50% anywhere in the state.
Right. Well, we don't have sun once a week, so.
It's below the national threshold.
Way below, I know.
Okay, anybody want to adjourn this wonderful meeting tonight? Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
How do we know?
There's no Yankees game right now. It doesn't start.
So, I mean,